Hi everyone, I am Noelle with Noelle Rollins Art. This video is all about commissions. Should you be doing commissions? Do you want to do commissions? If you do want to do commissions, how to do them. So let's talk about what skills you need to do a commission. I would say that you need to be able to take your ego out of your artwork. You are not going to want to do commissions if someone comes to you and they have this idea of what they want and you think it's not your taste. That's not going to fly. Like, you can somewhat alter sometimes what they want to make it more your style, but if you are hardcore on this is what I do, don't bother doing commissions. It'll make you so frustrated that it won't be worth it. Can you do a wide range of things? If not, be very specific about what you offer. One of the things I do is pet portraits. That seems very specific in a way, but I better be sure that I can do short hair and long haired pets. If I get a request for a horse portrait, can I do that? Things like that. Communication. You are going to need to take whatever the client tells you, visualize it in your head, formulate it into a plan, or sometimes 3 or 4 options, and see how things could be beyond what they may be seeing. And then also equally important, translate that back into something they'll understand. So for me, often I could have someone come to me and say, I want a painting of a dog in a field. Now, there are 5 million ideas that float through my head and things that I've seen in the past, dog in a field. So there may be questions that I need to ask to get more clarity. Are you wanting the dog facing the viewer? Are you wanting the dog facing away? Is the dog running? Is it fall? Is the field in full bloom, ready to harvest? Is it just the grass coming up? Is there wildflowers in the field? Is there a color scheme you're looking to match with this artwork? Do you want the focus to be on the dog? Is it just the whole composition? Are there trees in this field? Is it day? Is it night? Is the sun setting? Do you want a blue sky? Do you want more of a moody picture? Where will this picture be hanging? What are the colors in that room? These are some of the things that through the years I've learned to ask. Do you want it zoomed in? So mostly all you see is the dog, and it's just implied that there's field around it based on there may be some wildflowers or crop coming up in front of or behind the dog. So ask some of those questions. Ask, do they have a specific breed of dog? Is it their dog that they have in mind? If so, do they have photos of that dog that you can use to just capture that extra special detail of their dog? And then beyond, once you figure out what it is, so typically what I then do is I ask them if there's a general idea for budget. And if 9 times out of 10, they'll say, I don't know, you tell me. I will come back with 3 options. And this is one of the things I think that makes me pretty special as a commissioned artist, and you may want to take from this. I have eliminated that icky feeling where I'm not sure what to price. So I have come up with a plan where I present 3 options. There is option A, which is the lowest price, but it also is the least work for me. So this option may be that the field does not have a lot of detail. I'll focus my detail on the dog. Or maybe all of it's a little bit abstract in general. Then there's the medium picture. And it could be changed how it's cropped, the level of detail, the coloring. It can be something as simple as there's an oak tree in the painting. And do they want the detail on some of that tree, or are they okay with just a kind of a blurry implied tree? A silhouette of a tree, things like that that can change the amount of work that an artist puts into it by hours. And then there's the final one. I'll come back with one that's often maybe even double the price of the lower one. but it has a lot more detail in it. And it has, sometimes it doesn't require a ton more work for me. Often it does. But it sometimes, and you artists know this, you can touch up parts of things with detail and have implied detail through the whole piece. So within even a colored pencil piece, like even this one of my husband, there's some things I could do to save time on that if I needed, where it could be a watercolor wash behind parts of him, how much detail his shirt. Maybe I focus the detail on his face and then let the rest of him be a little bit more less focused. For Miss Suni Lee here, the background was very simplified. Had someone commission that and wanted a very detailed background or a very detailed part of her outfit, that would be something that would have changed the price point. And this one I just did out of my complete adoration for our local Twin Cities gymnast here, who is now an Olympian medalist. So, yeah, so consider those things when you are presenting. And what that does is it doesn't embarrass your client based on budget. They can hold their head high and select an option that works best for them. Sometimes there's a lot of unknown and things get weird. They don't know if you're going to come back saying $500 or $5,000. They don't know if you are going to be very look down upon them, perhaps, that they don't know the lingo to use and or how to maybe fully articulate what they're looking for. So it's very important to communicate well and to clearly communicate and do it in a way that is not condescending at all. Don't use words. Speak your lingo, don't get me wrong, but also just say it in a way that maybe explains it so they are part of the lingo then. And then a price point, like a series of price points, to me also, I'm honoring my time. Whether they pick the lowest price or the highest price, I'm not pissed that I just undercut myself, or I don't feel like I just scammed them. There's no ickiness. It's just very clear cut. And it's, for me, the way I found to like do commissions with the highest amount of integrity and the least amount of ickiness. And that's what works for me. I know other people's comfort zones are completely different. You do you. But if you haven't tried them before, maybe try that option. It might work out really good for you. The other options are what mediums do you use? So most of my most of my commissions the last couple of years have been colored pencils. Before that, it would have probably been acrylic, maybe even watercolor. A few in graphite pencils. So just get clear that, that you're on the same page of what medium the finished piece is going to be, and if you do many types. That's also the same for if you're custom sewing something or painting a mural. With anything, you just want to be super clear on materials, dimensions. Are you going to seal it or not seal it? If that matters to the customer. If it's an outdoor mural, they probably want to know, is this going to be lasting? Do they need to prime it? Could that save them, money? If they're looking to save money by having them prime something. Most of the time that would not be the case, but just, keeping that out there. There's been times where I've done custom work for a woodworker in town. And I learned my lesson the hard way, where I got a piece of wood, and once I removed their old image, it was rotted underneath a little bit. And so I spent a ton of time trying to fix that. And finally I just went back and said, can you get this how you want it? So then I'll paint it. And I should have did that right off the bat, because that's his area of expertise. I was spending my time and energy doing something that it really, I couldn't have guessed how he wanted it. And so instead of taking that on, I was able to put that back on his plate. He got it exactly how he wanted it, handed it back, and it was really easy from there. Commissions. Have a clear way on your website of ordering. Try to lay out the steps so your customer knows the process. Take out the mystery. On my website, I have a list, and then I also have a blog about it. I might even have a video. I should double check that. just trying to be really clear so there's not a lot of mystery. People just don't know what they don't know. And sometimes it's something they've never paid attention to or cared. And then they find out about my work and the circumstances are right that they want a commission thing as a gift, or their child just got married and they want a portrait of that wedding, things like that. So don't expect your customer to be an expert in this. You lead them. You have a process in place that they can step into. So the clearer you can be in your wording, in your needs from them, the better the entire outcome will be for both of you. If you're working off photographs, be really clear about the quality of photographs you need. Do you take the photographs? Do they need to provide the photographs? Are you making sure the photographs are not copyrighted? Things like that. What else? Trying to think of different ones along the way. Some upsells you can do for commissions. You have a commission portrait come through. One thing I have started doing is I take a high resolution photograph of every commission. I have a folder on my computer called Art Client Work or something like that. And every client gets a folder. Within that is the photo that I took at the end of their commission that I send them for them to approve it. Often this triggers, for higher end pieces, I'll have them put a deposit down. Mostly half down is the standard. They come back later. Once they approve that piece, then the second payment is due before I provide that artwork to them. And then I also offer them, within my website, when they check out with buying a portrait, they can choose if they want prints of that piece as well, ornaments, things like that. Why this is important is, especially at least what I do, sometimes this doesn't come into play at all. Upcoming, I have a floral one I'm doing for a woman's home, and I'm really excited. It's gonna be custom everything, but she has no needs to want prints of this piece. However, someone doing a remembrance portrait of grandma and grandpa may want to order 15 for every family. So every family at Christmas gets, and every grandchild gets a print. So those are times where I can upsell, even though I hate that word, but provide a service to that client that really offers great value to them. Now with one thing, they have been able to provide a very meaningful gift for their entire family. And I can have all of those wrapped and gift wrapped, since that's my area of expertise, and provide them all, or they can provide me addresses and pay for me to ship them to everyone. Either one is fine. Sometimes if I have a client who orders over a certain amount, I'll surprise them with an ornament with that image on it at Christmas time. That's just a little extra service I try to provide when I can. Other times I've had people ask if they can get greeting cards or something like that with their image on it. So that's something I can provide for them. All of these things are just thinking beyond, but in order to do that, you're going to want to take a really good high resolution photograph of their work, or scan it if that's appropriate. Lastly, let me think what else there is. Ask them for testimonials afterwards. If they've expressed to you that they love it, get a photo of it hanging in their home or their office, and get a testimonial if you can. Word of mouth is by far the best marketing. And even for my portraits, I've printed up cards that I can give out with each commission, to where when someone asks about it, they have one of my cards that they can give out. And it's one that's very specific, that shows different portraits that I've done. So it's an easy way for them. They're proud of their work. They're talking about it with others, and then they can say, oh, here, and we have this. Another add-on that I've been able to do is film videos of me creating their artwork. And sometimes this is a surprise to them. I do that if it's at a certain dollar level, where I'll turn on my phone or my video recorder, my webcam, and film myself drawing. I will then edit it. Mostly it's a time-lapse video, add a little music, and put it on my YouTube channel and provide them a link. So oftentimes it's fun for them to see their piece being created. And that's also something I have as an upsell on my website. If people would like to add that, they can work that in. And if they do purchase it as one, I go the extra mile and I edit it better, add good music to it. I'll add a message at the beginning of the video, maybe a message at the end, things like that. So it's something they're proud of and they can share that video with their circle. So that is the basics of commissions, at least what I have found that works for me. Commissions are not for everybody. It's something that I'm only going to be doing seasonally, and then I'm going to have to just have a wait list for when I come back from traveling and make it work. And that's not always bad either, to have a little bit of a wait list and have it build up. I tend to do kind of bulk together some of my portraits and work on them just a few different days of the week, and then the other days of the week I work on other things so that I can be fully present and in the zone. It's hard sometimes, as you know, to switch from creative mode in my brain to bookkeeping and homeschooling and all of the other parts of my business, shipping. So as much as possible that I can compartmentalize, it really helps me produce better artwork. So those are my tips for you for commissions and how to know if they're right for you or not. If you have anything that you'd add to that list, please share. I am definitely not an expert, and it's amazing, even being an artist for 25 years, how much you realize it's impossible to know every angle of everything. Just even within a different medium, things can be different. So it's really fun then to hear from you and how things work in your world and in your circle. So please share. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. I'm going to continue sharing videos like this behind the scenes of being an artist. So please check out my other videos and stay tuned for more. All right. Thanks for being here. Bye.